Hi, Mario.
Hmm?
Tomorrow, 9 o'clock.
Tomorrow at 9. Okay.
We are on Kuf Tes 109.
Hmm?
Amekabel Sadim Echavero Leshani Mu'atos. A contractor accepts to work a field for less than 7 years. Lo Yizra'enu Pishta. The contractor should not plant flax because it. Hi, Abe.
Hello.
Hey.
Kuf Tes Amad Aleph 109. Hamekabel Sadim Echavero Leshani Mu'atos. A contractor accepts to work a field either as a sharecropper with a percentage or a fixed amount, but the contract is for less than 7 years. Lo Yizrenu Pishta, you're not allowed to grow flax because it weakens the ground and it'll take 7 years to get better. Ve'en lo b'kora shikma, if there's sycamore trees in the field, he's not allowed to take wood because it won't grow back. It takes more than 7 years to grow back. But if it's for a minimum of 7 years, so you can plant flax the first year. He can cut off branches, etc., to sell for lumber. When we say that if he did it for less than 7 years, he cannot cut off branches to sell for wood, but b'shvach shikma, the fact that the trees are more valuable because they've gotten thicker, he gets a part of that profit. However, he doesn't get that either. So we'll ask a kasha and Rava, and he's on his way out because he's finished his contract. Shamin lo, we make an estimation to pay him. Now, what are we talking about? My love, shamin lo b'shvach shikma. We look at the trees; they grew, so we're going to make a valuation what they was worth before, what's worth after, and he shares in that, which seems to be a kasha on what Rava said because he said b'shvach shikma ein lo. So the Gemara says no, we're not talking about evaluating that the trees grew. Shamin lo yarkov silka. We're talking about the day he walks away from the field because his contract ended, there's still vegetables in the field. He grew those. So he gets a share of that. More says, what do you mean? Yarkov is silk. What do you have to do an estimation? Nah, let him uproot it, vinishkol, and sell it and get his share. Oh, b'delomata yoma deshuka. Because market day hasn't come and he got his contract ended Tuesday and market day is Thursday. So the measurement, the shuma, is not of the trees, so it's no kasha and rava, but it's of the vegetables. Toshma. You're a contractor, and Shemitah comes, so shamin lo. So the Gemara, what do you mean? Shvius, mikumavka ara, just because Shemitah comes, it doesn't kick. If a contractor started working 3 years before Shemitah, and he has a 10-year contract, Shemitah doesn't kick him off the land. Yovel, still, the Yovel doesn't interfere with his contract because litzmisu samarachmana. By Yovel, it's sold until it goes back to the Bailim, but a field that's not sold, it's the Yovel doesn't mafkia the kablonos. You bought a field, and now Yovel, you have to give it back, shamin lo, because he gets a certain value before he gives the land back. So what are we talking about the Shuma? Are we talking about the value of the vegetables? Silka v'yerk b'yovel of keru. He doesn't have a right to that. It belongs to everybody. Must be when we say Shuma, elalav shvach shikma. We're talking about the value of the trees that grew. Tirgma Abaya libid Rava. Abaya answered for Rava. Shani yosem davar kra v'yatzar mimkar bayis mimkar choizer. The sale during Yovel goes back. Shvach ein choizer, but not the improvement. I v'nigmer minei. There should be a general rule that the shvach is not choizer. Hasam is vinim al yehu. By Yovel, we're talking about a regular sale. The Yovel of Kata de Malki and Kodesh Baruch Hu said you got to get out of the field, but it's not a contract with kablanus. It's not a mechira. So Yovel doesn't come and be mafkia that. Rav Papa Kabbalah las pasta. Rav Papa accepted a contract to grow alfalfa. Kadchu ba ta'ili. Palm trees grew in the field. Kiko mistalek, when his contract was up, Amalu havuli shvach. Listen, your field is more valuable because there's palm trees. Amalu Rav Shesha ben Rav Yidel Rav Papa Lamayat Dikla v'alim. If there was a palm tree there, but it just got thicker, would you demand an increased payment? So he answered, the contractor didn't take that into cheshbon, just eating the fruits of the decal, not that the tree is going to grow. But I was going to, when I came into this contract, I was planning on getting the share if there are new palm trees. Keman Kabaya, who said Shvach Shikma Yeshla. So is this only a Abaya, not Rava? Hasam less Leipseda. When the sycamore grew in the field, there was no financial loss. Here, Hacha Ikapseda. The palm trees grew and lessened the area that he had to grow the alfalfa. Omar, still, the owner of the field can say, my Seidascha Yoda de Aspasta. Okay, there's a little handful of alfalfa that you could have grown where this tree is. Shkol Yada de Aspasta Vizil, I'll pay you for that little bit of alfalfa and then leave the field. So, no, the contractor can say, Omar, I'm not Kukabarishka Ravoy. I would plant very expensive things here, like saffron or sesame. Omar, okay. So you've admitted that you're going to plant other things, not necessarily palm. Revealed that you'll be willing to be bought off. Shakal Kurkuma Rishka Vizil. Here, I'll pay you for the little bit of sesame that could have grown where these trees are. Since you didn't have kavanah to grow these trees, you only have the value of the lumber if we would cut the trees down. Ravivi Barbai Kebel Aravadu Le Mishunisa. Ravivi Barbai became a kabbalah on a field. He surrounded the field with a mound of dirt. And Katchu Beis Zardita, and trees grew on that border. Kikomistalik, when he left the field, he saw that there were all sorts of new trees. He wanted to get paid for the increase in value of the field. Because you come from Fashtopta people, you're saying Fashtopta words? Because Abaya was related to Eli Cohen that would die at a young age. So that's why they were called Memuloi, but they don't fill their ears. I feel Rav Papa Omar, even Rav Papa says he doesn't get the increased value of the palms Only Ela de Isle Pseda, where the palms grew where he wanted to grow alfalfa and it cut down the profit. Here, these trees grew on the border. It didn't take away any space for you to plant. So you're not entitled to the shvach. Rav Yosef Havaleyahu Shisla. Rav Yosef had a gardener to plant trees who worked as a sharecropper for him. He died. He left 5 son-in-laws. Rav Yosef had enough. I used to just deal with one guy. Now I got 5 guys? This guy had all the responsibility. Now there's 5 of them. Each one will turn to the other. There won't be anybody who will take responsibility. So Amar Lui said to them, if I give you a payment for the improvement in the fields and then you leave, mutav. I'll throw you off without shvach. That means he tried to entice them to leave on friendly terms. Amar Rav Yitema Ravuna V'Yitema Rav Nachman. Hashisla de shachiv. If the gardener dies, yorshim delay mistakim l'vo shvacha, because you can get rid of the heirs even without paying them shvach. However, the V'lav Milsa, it's not the halacha. Because Ahu Shisl D'Armelu, I Mavstida Misalakna. This gardener made it tonight that if I cause loss in this vineyard and I damage the plantings, then I will leave the office and accept the loss. Rav Yehuda, Mistalik below Shvacha, that in these cases you can get rid of them without paying in the shvach. Rav Kahana mistalik v'shakal shvacha. Umoid Rav Kahana the Amr Sidna mistalik below shvacha. If they make it tonight in advance, that he's going to be kicked off the land when his contract is over without shvach. That mistalik below shvacha, that will work. But Rava Amar, we don't rely on that statement. It's not smachti. It's an exaggeration, and asmachta lo kanya. Why is that different from the following Mishnah? When we said im oiver v'lo avid hashalim b'mitva, that if I'm a sharecropper and it doesn't produce any crops in the first year, I will still pay from the best. Why isn't that a guzma? Because hasamai da'afid mishalik. There, he pays what was lost. Hacha my afsid. My da'afsid mankinan le v'irich yavinan le. Here, what is lost is deducted from what he has to pay for the sharecropping, but not to lose the whole thing. Runya Shasad Ravina. Runya was the gardener for Ravina. Afsid, he lost, it was a losing business, but Silekos only threw him out. Asla Kameda Rava, they came to Bez in front of Rava Amarle. Chazimar my covetly, you see, throw me out without Shvach. Amarle Shapir of it, he did good. You caused him loss, he has a right to throw you out. Amar, hello Hisrabi, he didn't warn me. And since he didn't warn me, he shouldn't have thrown me out. So Rava answered, Amar lo tzricha, you don't have to warn. And Rava gives us the following examples. Rava l'tamei shamakra, mikre dardik, a teacher in school, a shasla, a planter, a tabach, a shoichet, umna, a phlebotomist, the soifer masa, and a soifer of the city, we write stories, kulan kumusarin v'oim dindami. Any loss that they cause, it's immediately deducted from their wages. And we give them a fine, and you don't have to warn them. Klala de milsa, kol pseided loy hadar. If it's a loss that cannot be recovered, so they have to accept the loss right from the get-go without hasra. A gardener worked in a field and his term ended and he wanted to get paid the shvach. Why? To be in Lamesik, La'ard Yisrael, I want to move to Israel. Asla Kamed Rav Papa Barshmo, Amar Lo Havli Shvach, and give him the shvach. Amar Rava, Iu Ashbach, Arloy Ashbach. What do you mean? he didn't do it himself. The karka did it as well. It's not completely for him. Omer ana paga the shvach coming. You know what I mean? Half the shvach. He doesn't get all of it. Omer ade idna v'shakil balabayis paga v'shasla paga. The owner would get 50% and the gardener 50. Hashta boila mesav manta larisa. Now he wants to give it over to his own sharecropper to continue working. Omer, fine. Riva the shvach coming. I mean, a quarter of the shvach, because he has to give the other quarter to the sharecropper he's going to hire. So Rav Ashi lemeimar riva du danka. It's really a sixth, which is a quarter of the amount that the balabayis, right? Why? Because Sha'amar Rav Man Yomi, Braid Rav Nachumi, Ba'asar Shakal Sak Shas Lapag Varisa Tilsa, in a place where the gardener got half the fruits and the sharecropper a third, Haishis the Boilas Deluki, the gardener who's leaving the field, Yavina Le Shvacha, you give him his Shvach, like the Balabais. You do it in a way so that the Balabais doesn't lose. Now, to Iyamet Bishma Riva du Danko, we're talking about a sixth Shapir. And Liyamet Riva, a fourth, Kamati Leib Sedel Balabais, Pagadanka. The Balabais is going to lose an extra sixth. Omer Ravacha, Bereder Rav Yosef Ravashi, V'leimele Ant Manta Dilech. The gardener should say the Balabais, my chela give to the sharecropper. Havle Larisa. Va'ana Manta Dilei, my debeina vidnebe. And I want to get my portion. I did half the work the way I was supposed to. If you want to give something to the sharecropper, why should I lose? Amar kimotis the shchitas kochim tova akshili. When we get to Masechta Kochim, which has difficult svaras, you asked a good kasha. That kasha should be asked when we learn Kochim. Gufa. In the locales where the gardener would get a half and the aris a third. High shas of the bais taluki, when the gardener leaves the land, yavina le shavche, you give him the shvach, the improvement value. Umisakin like yechidu lifts the balabayis, so that the balabayis won't lose. Amra banyumi nachumi, kupa saba palga. In an old vineyard, the gardener gets half. Even though he didn't plant it. But shtafa nahara, if the river overfloods the vineyard, and now the only thing they could divide is the wood, Hashaslan Makabi River, the gardener gets a quarter. Ahi Gavra Demashkin Pardes al Chavi Lesser Shonim. He took a mashkon, a land, for a loan that he gave, and any fruits that he took, he deducted from the loan, so there wouldn't be ribis. The kash l'chamishonim, and the orchard dried up after 5 years, and no more payrolls. And now they've got to cut the trees down and sell them for wood. Is the wood close or not? Abaye Omer Peyrahavi. They're considered payrolls of the orchard. And therefore the lender who was taking payrolls can also take the wood. Rava Omer, no, it's karnahavi, it's the principal. And the Malva doesn't have a schus in them themselves, rather sell them via lakech karka, right? He's entitled to payrolls. So you sell the wood, you buy a piece of land, plant new trees, and then the Malva is oichel payrolls. So Meisvi, will ask you a kasha. Yove sha'ila no niktzatz. There was a land that was used as collateral, and the tree got dry or got cut. Shneim, the lender and the borrower, are surin bill. They cannot use the profits of that tree. Ketzad Yasu, Yimkru La'etzim, sell it for lumber, V'ilakach ben karka, buy a piece of land, and the lender, continues to oichel peros. And my lav, Yavesh Dumi de Niktzatz, drying up a tree is the same as cutting it down. Ma Niktzatz Bismano, it happened at the right time after it aged. Af Yavesh Bismano. Uktani Yilakach ben karka v'oichel peros, al makarna havi. So it's not peros, because you can't use the wood itself, you got to sell it. It's like principle, which is like Ravin's Kasha Abaya. Lo, Niktzatz Dumi Yavesh. My Yavesh, it dried out below Zmana, before its time. Af Niktzatz, it got cut below Zmana. So it wasn't Kedarko. So therefore it's not considered, Karen, it's considered like pre. But if the orchard dried out Bismano, then really the trees are considered like the karka itself. Period. Hello? Yeah, 1 second. Okay, tomorrow we're going to learn at 9 o'clock. Okay?
Okay, bye.
Yeah.